Hey everyone, it's Kat and I am back today to do my project pan update for the start of August. I didn't think I made much progress. There are some products where I'm like, I had nothing. But overall, I've actually used up some products and I'm going to rotate some new things in. I'm going to restructure a little bit. But I just want to say, yesterday we moved the baby cot from the end of our bed, which is right here, into my son's bedroom. I almost don't know what to do with the space in our bedroom. It feels so luxurious. All of a sudden it feels like we've had an extension. And I'm just like, now I've got to clean up all this and tidy up this and this and this because this could be such a nice room again. I'm very excited. Just letting you know. Okay, what am I going to start with? I'm going to start with the products that I've used up as per usual. They are, firstly, I used up my Urban Decay Primer Potion. I had depotted this into a little container. I quite liked using it that way. It was getting drier, but it meant that I liked the sort of slightly thicker formula of it when it was getting a little bit drier. At the end, it was getting too dry. And I sort of just like used as much as I could to get it done. I don't even know where the little tub is, but it's used up. So last month, I'll have a photo of the little tub. Now that's gone. So Urban Decay Primer Potion, gone, done, tick that one off. What I'm actually going to replace that with is a NARS eyeshadow primer. This is in the shade medium, so it's a tinted smudge proof eyeshadow base. I really like this. I much prefer it over the Urban Decay one. I'm going to have to weigh this because I don't know how much is in here. That's the color there. So even though it's medium, it actually matches my skin tone better than the lighter ones. I do have a lighter one and a darker one. So I just thought, look, this is probably the easiest one to use. I might down the track, I don't know, incorporate the darker one that I can use sort of as almost like a liquid eyeshadow because it does, this is sort of my eyelid color. So when I put it on, it just blanks out the lid a little bit and doesn't really do much. A shade darker I could probably use as like a liquid eyeshadow. So I might down the track try to pan them. They are getting old and I don't want them to go off because they're very nice products. So this one's coming into the project. I also used up my NARS concealer. This is the Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This was too dry for me at the moment. Wrong color for me. Everything was sort of going wrong, but I wanted to use it up. So I pretty much use this on days where I didn't really care how my base looked, which is, to be honest, look, I want it to look good, but if it doesn't look good, no one sees it. Who cares? So I used this almost like as a foundation on days like that. And it's gone and I'm not in a rush to repurchase it because at the moment my skin is, I think, too dehydrated and this just looked really dry on it, which was unusual because usually it does really good things for my skin, but lately not so much. I've got a few concealers. I've got two Maybelline Fit Me concealers unopened in a drawer as like backups. And the other one I've got open is my Natasha Denona one, which is my newest one. I really, really love it. I'm sort of just happy to have those two. Fit Me as like my handbag touch-up sort of concealer. If I lose it, I don't really care. I got it half price at Chemist Warehouse. And then my Natasha Denona one as like, it looks good, it wears well, it doesn't emphasize creases under my eyes, all that kind of stuff. So I'm happy to have like the nice one and then like the really cheap one that is not disposable. Like it's great, but like I can chuck it around and not care about it. The only one in my drawer that is standing out as not being either of those is my Kat Von D one. So this is it's the Good Apple concealer. It's saying it's lightweight, full coverage, and the shade is Light 119. Now, I have been actually wearing this the majority of the month because I used this up fairly quickly. Or even when I was wearing this as a base, I was using this as a concealer. I actually thought that last month I introduced this. So I was going to be like, I'm going to be prepared to give you a weight check-in and everything and blah, blah, blah. But no, I was just using it as though it's in my project pan, but I'm officially introducing it now. So I'm wearing this under my eyes, around my nose, on my chin today. Again, I can sort of use this as just a light foundation. If I want to just dot some over my skincare and blend it in, that can be done. I have no idea how much I'm using of this. I think eventually I'll see it scraping on the sides. I've been using it quite consistently. The shade is actually quite nice for me, so I'm happy to use it. The formula is not as good as Natasha Denona, so I'm happy to see it go. I'm not going to rush out and repurchase it, but I'm not struggling with it as much as I was the NARS matte concealer. So this one is coming in, and I'll weigh it and we'll do all that kind of good stuff. Another thing I'm considering done, because it's just such a bugger trying to use it up or trying to get any more out of it. So it's my Innoxa Tinted lip serum. This is in the shade Jam Tart. It's quite a nice lip product. I took the stopper out. It's been out for like all month, and I don't know if you can see, but I've scraped the sides. It's got a gathering up here and right down the bottom, but I can't actually like access it without using special tools. And I really like it's a pinky nude lip gloss. Whenever I do take it out, it is like almost dry. Like, okay, there's some product there, but to get that all over my full lips, I'm like dipping in like 4 times, and in my opinion, it's enough. It's done. So that one I've used up because it's just becoming very frustrating to use. And what I'm actually introducing instead of that, and I should have done this instead of it, because this wasn't not old. This was something I got, I think, earlier this year. This is something that's been in my collection for a couple of years now, and I should have just used this up first, let's be real. But this has been in my handbag. If I don't have this lip gloss around, I reach for this one. So I have been using it throughout the last few months, even though it's not technically in my project pan. So this is the Colourpop Ultra Glossy Lip. I'm so glad they brought Ultra Glossy Lips back, because they are such a good, affordable lip product, especially if you find a Colourpop sale. They are great. This is in the shade Rattler, which was in a limited edition collection, I believe. It's a beautiful sort of more caramelly nude shade. So this one is more pink. This one has more pigment. This is a little bit sheerer. So this one is a bit more of a statement lip, but I really like it, and I really like the tone. Now you can see there is, I don't know if you can see it, there is scrape marks, because I have been using this quite a lot. So this is, again, getting to the point where there's a gathering here and a gathering there. I haven't taken out the stopper. I will do that. I don't know if I even bother weighing this, because I feel like if I just keep using this over the next month, most days, I will probably clear this out, and then I can look for another one. I'm not sure. This one has that horrible brush that has frayed. So I'm glad when Colourpop did bring these back recently, they used the doe foot applicator. It's just stays nicer for longer. This is hideous, but this is a beautiful product, beautiful shade, and I'm going to take the stopper out and just focus on clearing this out and using it up, because yeah, that's what I want to do. All right, this is not done, but I'm going to introduce something because I feel like it'll be done tomorrow or the day after. This is my little Hourglass mini dim light powder, so the ambient lighting powder. My God, dim light is it really dims my light. So I'm wearing it today, and I don't know if you're looking at me and going, Kat, you look really ridiculously tanned. Yeah, it's this, but look. So on the screen, I'll have where I was up to when I introduced it, which was it was virtually untouched. And in the last month, I have hit it down to pan, and it's a very sort of soft powder, so I can pick up quite a lot on a loose brush and just dust it all over my face. This is like 1 or 2 applications left, and then I'm done. So I didn't want to wait for this to be done. Yeah, that's 1 application. There is like nothing there. Hang on, if I turn the brightness down, you'll see. Hopefully you can see the pan around the edges. Hopefully you can see how much product is, like, you can see through this to the pan. It is pretty much done. The thing I hate about this powder, I'm just going to demonstrate by putting a little bit of foundation on my hand and blending it out for you. It turns my base so, like, not even bronzy, like peachy but dark. So I need to sort of be prepared that if I'm going to be wearing that, I'm going to be wearing a light foundation that I want it to be darker, or again, on a day where I don't care about how my base looks. The finish is actually really beautiful. The shade just really darkens. It's not dark enough to be a bronzer or a blush, but it is quite dark. So this is my foundation. It looks very light, and then all of a sudden, I don't know if you're going to see. Yeah, it just makes everything so much darker. So if that's my foundation color, which matches my skin, that's what it turns. So that's why I look so damn orange. Like, the finish is beautiful and it does look very flawless, but the color just, oh, it makes me look very Oompa Loompa. And very overdone, which is what is happening today. So with that one, I actually thought I had a second one, a mini, but it ends up being that this is the translucent setting powder. So the loose little one in the tub, which I don't want to pan just yet. It's not opened, but I think this is a great, like, travel. I keep saying travel makeup and I don't travel anywhere, but I do have a makeup bag that I bring to my parents' house. So I go to my parents every Monday, and often we leave so early that I haven't done any makeup. So if we're going out and about and having lunch or doing whatever, I put a bit of makeup on at my parents' house. So I do actually have a travel makeup bag. I don't travel anywhere though, but this little powder is perfect for that. So this is not going to be in my project pan. I sort of thought I'll get through some smaller things and just sort of make some space, but this one is too good for just using up straight away. So what instead I'm going to bring in is the powder that I just have recently opened. I'm happy to get rid of this. It's the Laura Mercier Invisible Loose Setting Powder in the shade Universal. So it's one of those white setting powders. This is very, 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 very setting, but it's also very perfecting looking. Only problem is that at the end of the day, it can look quite dry on me. So I really need to pair this with more hydrating products. I don't know how I'm going to go because we've got a month left of winter, and that's where I'm really struggling with my skin looking too dry with my makeup at the end of the day. So, you know, we'll see how I'll weigh it and we'll see how I go. But there's no other real powders that at the moment I want to pan. So this is it. We'll see if we can make it work. So because my base is looking very orangey because of the dim light powder, I decided to lean into it today and really ham up the cheeks. Now, this is too much makeup on in my daily life. It doesn't look natural. It looks too much, but I felt like for filming it's okay. And then I might also on TikTok demonstrate a cleansing balm later on. So this is probably coming off anyway. But I decided to lean into the cheeks a bit, and I put on my blush that I've been panning. So this is the L'Oreal Life's a Peach blush. I have been trying so hard this month to wear off that damn design. So there is a little design of what looks like it looks like a ball with fire, a ball on fire. I don't think it is. I think it's a peach and leaves or something, but I'm trying so hard to wear this down. I'll have photos on the screen of where I was up to last month and where I'm up to this month. I can still see it, but it almost feels like that design now is raised. So yeah, I'll also take a photo of that. It looks like the design where it was pressed in, maybe it was pressed a bit firmer. So it's actually dipping in, and where the indents were is now getting a little bit raised. So the design's still there, but I've been using this a lot. So I've gone a bit ham on the cheeks with this as well to be like, I want this design gone by my update, and it hasn't, but I have been using it. I'm also on my cheeks wearing my Marc Jacobs Tan-Tastic bronzer, which I introduced last month. There is going to be like no progress on the screen because I think I've used this literally, if it's 3 times, I'm doing well. I don't use much bronzer on a daily basis. And we've had a lot of colds on and off and been unwell and tired and blah, and bronzer is just not a thing. Maybe some concealer and maybe some like powder foundation or something to like make me feel a little bit more awake, sure. But bronzer's for me more of a sunny sort of summery thing, which we'll get to. We're not nearly there, but we'll get there. So the way I do use this is I get a really big brush and I just sort of tap into it and just really roughly put some, you know, obviously not with the Hourglass powder because it just is too much. But if I am looking a little bit fair, you know, just a really light dusting, because if I go anything too sort of sculpted, it looks, in my life at the moment, it looks really out of place and unnatural. So I'm trying, and I think with a really big brush I will start seeing some progress eventually, but as the weather gets nicer I feel like this is going to come out more and more. Let's keep talking about cheeks because I'm also wearing the highlighter that's in my project pan. So this is the Super Shock Cheek in the shade Out of Quartz by Colourpop. I think this was in the same collection as this. It was like a cooler tone sort of brown collection, very pretty. I did really like it, and I love this product. Very, very nice. I'll have a comparison on the screen to where I was up to last month. I keep saying that this is sort of, until you hit pan, this is really hard to see any progress. I'm not weighing it because I can't be stuffed. The less weighing, the better in my life. But this is a mousse product. So as you use it and move it around, it moves. So it's hard to really see dents. You can see, hopefully in the photo on the screen, that I've been recently using it with like a sort of stippling brush, so you can see brush marks. It just sort of moves as you use it, but it's very pretty. I do like it. It's also very nice eyeshadow, so that's like, you can even just rub it on with your finger, just a bit of brightness, really pretty. This I talked about last month. This is the MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Superb. I really do like this. It is a sort of coolie rose color as a base, a sort of silvery sheen to it. You can sort of use it as a bronzer, blush, highlighter in one, but it's a bit too cool toned for my skin. So I started using this as an eyeshadow. It has been successfully stuck in with lash glue because this had fallen out, the pan had fallen out. I have glued it in. You're going to see no progress on this because I have been testing an eyeshadow palette this month and also trying to use this eyeshadow palette in my project pan. So I've used this a few times, but not much. I have decided, I don't like that sound. I've decided that I'm going to take this out of my project. I do mention in my last update that this is going to take me years and years and years to pan, which I'm not opposed to. But while I have a highlighter in my project pan that I want to spend more effort using up, I feel like this is a bit of a distraction. It's a beautiful eyeshadow. I'll keep it in my top drawer. I'll use it as a one and done eyeshadow whenever I want to, but it's going to last longer than a putty product. So I would prefer to focus on using the putty product because I know I can use this up by the end of the year. There is no way in hell that I can use this by the end of the year. So I may as well be a bit more realistic about it and just sort of focus on the one. Also, like I mentioned, eyeshadow palette. Now this, again, I've used it sort of half the month because I've been I did a 8-look eyeshadow palette review of a Glamonatrix palette. That was my last video. No, I don't know if this is going to be up or something else. Whatever. One of my last videos. It took me like 2 weeks to create. So this one, I didn't get much progress. But I have hit pan on a new shade, which is fantastic. I'm not seeing much progress with the mattes. I'm trying to wear off the TF, which is still a little bit there. But this shade here, I have hit pan on, and I've made this pan a lot bigger. So there'll be a comparison photo on the screen. But with the shade Sandy Cheeks, which is that sort of brownish shade at the end with a green sort of iridescence to it, I mainly use that up by trying to use it wet. I mainly used it wet because it's very, very sheer and I feel like it's a bit flaky when I try to build it up. It just sort of rains in my eyes and I get irritated eyes. So I thought maybe applying it wet, I can get a bolder effect and I can actually want to use it, but I don't really like it. But using it wet meant that I picked up a lot more and it almost turned into a bit of a paste. So I used it up over like a couple of weeks, but yeah, I think now that I've hit pan on that, I'm going to sort of ignore it for a while and try to really use up some of these mattes, and I'm probably going to get rid of the palette. Like if this is done, to me, this palette, there's no use for it. This is a nice shade, this bronzy shade, but I've got it in spades. So yeah, that's how I'm going with that. All right, onto base products. I think both of these need to be weighed. So I've got my Kat Von D. This is the True Portrait liquid to powder foundation. This is a bit heavy on a daily basis. I should actually start trying to mix it. I think I did actually try to mix it with this the other day and see how it mixes together. But yeah, I sort of wear it a couple of times a week. And then on quick makeup days, I would prefer to go for just a powder foundation. So this one, I feel like, look, I can't tell by just shaking it, let's be real, but I can get a vibe. I sort of feel like when I shake it, it sort of feels like it settles around here. I don't know how long this is. Like, does it go down to the bottom? Does it stop there? I don't know. But I do know that once it settles, that sort of goes quite transparent. So I am using it up. So I'm just going to keep going with this, but I use it like 3 times a week, so I feel like that is still enough to make progress. And it's not bad. It wears pretty well on me, and if I pair it with something quite hydrating, it doesn't tend to look really dry and desert-like, so it's fine. It's not one that I would be upset that it's gone. I'm happy to see it go, but I'm also not hating using it, so it's fine. The Bobbi Brown, I introduced this last month, the Vitamin Enriched Face Base. I've been using this fairly sparingly. Like, you can't see, it's white. It's a white cream. I don't use too much of it. Look, there is still part of me going, this feels so luxurious, I don't want to wear it just every day. I mainly pair it with drier things, so foundation, or if I'm going to use that sort of drier powder from Laura Mercier, I will sort of make sure this is underneath. But on days where I'm just using a quick BB cream or something like that, I don't tend to bother with that. So yeah, I haven't delved into using it every day, but I have been using it. I'll talk about 2 spray things because I've got them here. This is the Lumira bottle, but this is a MAC Fix Plus finishing spray. This is actually a mix of, I think, the cherry blossom one and like a strawberry one. So it's not the original. It is a bit of a mix. But last month I was up to there. Now I'm down to there. I have just been finding myself finishing my makeup with it because of being aware that if I've got quite a set base, it can get a little bit scaly looking by the end of the day. Sometimes I also apply this on like a damp beauty blender, and sort of if I'm looking a little bit powdering in areas, I will sort of like dab it on, and that sort of uses up a bit of it. I don't know why I'm so keen to use this up. I have a lot of finishing sprays, granted, but I really like MAC Fix Plus. My biggest issue is the bottle, so I've fixed that. But there is something about depotting it that makes me like it less. People always say, Kat, depot that. If you don't like this, depot it. For some reason, it being a MAC Fix Plus in a different bottle makes me go, this is an inferior I don't know why. I don't know why. So yeah, I'm making progress, but I want it done. My perfume. So this is the Lumira Paradisium. I will show you. So last month was where the pink is. Now it's the little gray, and I don't have much left. I think I've probably got 2 months use. And I mainly try to use this up because it is it's quite a heavy scent on me. Like, it's actually not, it's not so heavy that it gives me headaches and I can't wear it because that is too heavy. But in my collection, it's a heavier fragrance. I sort of wanted to use it up in the sort of autumn, winter months because I think once you get into spring and summer, this is a bit too figgy and heavy on me. But I do like it. I just sort of, because it is quite strong, I find myself sort of spraying it behind my neck, or like behind my knees. I heard that's a place to put perfume. I sort of like the smell, but I don't want it to be like right up in my face. So that's how I've been using that one. My Colourpop eyeliner, I've got no information on this. It is now completely wiped off. I will have the name in the description box. I know it was from the Raw Beauty Christie collection, but I do use this. I don't know what the progress is. I'll have a comparison on the screen. I'm using it today. I don't use it every day, but generally when I'm using a brown eyeliner, this is the one I'm using. I find the retractable ones take a lot longer to use up because when you sharpen a pencil, you actually waste quite a lot to get that nice point. Also, when you do have the nice point, I tend to use it a lot more. This one doesn't have the little sharpener down the bottom, so I can't sort of sharpen it, but also it's so small that if you sharpened it, you might break it. So I'm just using it sort of, you know, how it is, and it's taking some time, but hopefully there's some usage. I need to do something about these lipsticks. My MAC lipsticks that were in my MAC Project Pan from earlier this year. So Velvet Teddy and Lady Danger, my 2 faves. I love them. They're the greatest. But for some reason, I'm really struggling with panning them. I'm wearing Lady Danger today. It is glorious. Whenever I wear it, I'm like, you are such a perfect red. But again, it doesn't fit into my everyday lifestyle. Look, I've been wearing red actually the last few weeks, but This has not been in my handbag, so it hasn't been this red. I've got to put these in my bathroom downstairs. I feel like that's the time where I'm more inclined to put a lip on when I'm about to leave the house or reapply. So that's where these are going. I will have updates on the screen of where I was up to. I didn't actually take photos of these last month because I'd only used this a handful of times. So what's the point of showing comparisons when you can't really see a comparison? I still feel the same way, but I feel like let's get a comparison of 2 months ago. I really want to get some movement on these. I want them done by the end of the year. So these are going to go straight into my downstairs bathroom, and I'm going to hope that I can wear them. Look, the problem is that if I also have this in my bathroom, most days I'm just going to reach for this because it's easier. But I'm going to try to use them at least every second day. That's going to be my goal. Another product that I probably use every other time I do my makeup is my Benefit Kabrow. I've just rehydrated it. It's looking very wet because I've put some Duraline in there. I'm making good progress. I have to admit, compared to when I introduced this, I think it was towards the end of last year, this was like completely full. Now, if you look around the sides, I don't know if you can see very well. I can see it because I'm holding it up to the light, but there's only like this amount left. And when you compare this little tub, like I've used up, not only have I used it down, but I've used it in, and I'm very proud of myself, but it's very hard to see progress. I don't use this every day because, again, it's a little bit finicky. I can't really do it one-handed. I can't really do it if I'm trying to be in a bit of a rush. So this is more of a sit down. I've got a moment to do my makeup. So again, I maybe use this 3 times a week. I'm still seeing some progress, very slow, not very noticeable from your end, but it gets used. It gets used. So that's my update. I was a bit worried about doing this. I was like, can I wait another week because I've got no progress? But when I started gathering things, I was like, actually, concealer's been used. Lip gloss has been used. Powder's almost used. Like we can do this. So I'm quite proud of myself. I think the progress is really good. I think the new products that I've sort of put in, some of them are great, like the NARS eyeshadow primer. Like eyeshadow primers take forever to use. So this is going to be my project for quite some time, probably even into next year. But I'm happy to use it. It's fun. And I think sort of narrowing it down a little bit and getting rid of this product is going to take a little bit of pressure off what do I choose to wear today. And I feel like sometimes you really need to limit your options in a project pan because the more options you have, the more all over the place you are and the less progress you really see. All right, that's it. I want to thank my channel members for all your support and love. I will have them on the screen somewhere. So thank you so much. If you do want to support my channel, you can become a member. It's up to you if you want to do that. I do want to arrange a live chat with my members. I just need to find a time where I'm not constantly feeling like I'm behind, and also find a good time that suits a lot of people. So maybe I'll put out a little chat in the community thing. We'll see. Whatever. It's a thing. All the products I talked about will be in the description box. So if you missed what something is called and you really want to find out what this lipstick is or whatever, names are in the description box, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.